Well, as we've seen, Rob, universities around the country have gone exclusively online this fall due to COVID-19. But Liberty University, on the other hand, the world's largest evangelical university and my alma mater, welcomed its students back to campus just a few weeks ago. Well, joining us now to discuss how it's going is former Congressman from Virginia and the Dean of Liberty University's School of Business, David Brat. Congressman, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. I didn't know you were alone. That's awesome.
I am. All right. Well, before I get to the coronavirus and the school reopening, I got to ask you, the school got off to a little bit of a rocky start with the departure of Jerry Falwell Jr. What's the morale like there with the students and with the faculty and staff?
Yeah, well, we are a huge school, like you said, and so basically, in the business school, we're just doing our thing, and the students are my daughter's an incoming freshman, et cetera, and they're just all worried about being 18 years old and coming to school and being nervous and studying hard. So it's kind of back to normal, and we run fast and furious in the business school. So we're off to a great start, and everybody's positive, and we're a faith community, and we know things are going to turn out in the end for the good.
All right, people looking ahead to the positive here. Well, many schools didn't open. We saw so many go online, like I mentioned before. Obviously, Liberty had almost an open door policy to their dorms back in the spring, but now has welcomed students back. How are things going? What's the temperature there? Have you seen any spikes in coronavirus cases?
No, it's good. We're all doing the distancing, and the students got to wear masks in the class, and so we're taking all the precautions in the cafeterias and the cleanings, and we're serious on all of it. And so things are going well. And then it's just kind of a media phenomenon as far as the fear goes. Some of the kids have anxiety, et cetera. But every graph I look at, over in a time series, the charts are just diving straight down in terms of hospital issues and ventilators, and all those death rates are all way down. And so I think it's breaking in a good way. That doesn't often get reported. The sensationalist stuff covers the headlines and not the good news.
Congressman, we're going to pull up a headline here from Inquisitor talking about Joe Biden trying to get the evangelical vote, working to get that vote. That is generally going to be a strong one for the president. Are you seeing any movement in that vote there in your area and at your university?
Not really. Just in general, the culture, has been moving in that way for some time. I was in academia for 20 years teaching and saw our culture, right? K to 12, you took God totally out of the schools. There's no theology anymore. There's no ethics taught in K to 12 at all. In higher ed, there's no, Judeo-Christian ethics taught. There's no philosophical ethics taught. It's just kind of these trendy pieces. So unfortunately, we've been moving in that direction. The evangelical piece is a little hard to swallow. The Dem platform, they didn't mention God the entire time. There's no God language in their entire platform, and the platform is the policy. And so when it comes to religious freedom and all those issues, President Trump has been fighting hard on the policy front for religious freedom and the old pluralism. And it's not really Democrats, right? It's this hard new left, the neo-Marxist crew and the squad, et cetera. JFK, he would be welcome in the Republican Party right now. He was strong on the Catholic faith. He was pro-business, tax cuts, pro-America, pro-defense, and he'd be booted out of the Democratic Party. So the liberals have kind of left, and now you got this hard left thing. So, yeah, the evangelical piece, a little hard to take serious.
Yeah, it's interesting how politics has evolved over the years, that's for sure. The president said that this race was over before it began, and then COVID hit. And what that did to the economy, we know. Here he is talking about how he's trying to put it back together and trying to build a recovery.
America's unprecedented economic recovery continues. We're witnessing the fastest labor market recovery from any economic crisis in history, by far.
So he's expecting some better economic numbers, even better ones, before the election comes up. Can he ride that to victory?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's hard to get a fair shake. The main point with respect to the economy is first time in history we've shut down the U.S. economy by fiat, by government command. And so, what do you think's going to happen? And so, that being said, the key statement that the mainstream press will not let you hear is that China sent us the virus, right? Tom Cotton and Marsha Blackburn in the Senate, friends of mine, have said the same thing. Once you get to that statement, which will not be uttered by the mainstream news, the CCP is responsible for the virus. 6 months ago, we were all in school, eating out, going to church, everything was happy. Now it's not. Why is that? Because of the virus. Where'd the virus come from? Wuhan, China. China allowed 400,000 flights out to Milan, New York City, San Francisco, et cetera. So if you just do the logic, there's no debate that the economy was skyrocketing before the virus, right? The unemployment rates, everybody knows, lows for all sectors, Hispanics, African-American women. High school wage rates growing faster than the upper class for the first time in 40 years. Trump's taken it to China, first time in 40 years. My own party, the Republicans, have been numb on that, as well as the establishment Democrats. And Trump had it exactly right on China. They declared their war on us. You can go back to 1999. A couple colonels wrote a piece on that. And they've declared they're at war with us. The question is, are we awake? And so there's a clear choice to be made. These views are my own. They're not that of the school. But the China piece, everybody, the new movie's out. Biden's son got $1 billion business contract the week after they got back from China with his dad. Biden has let out the intellectual assets we've had that fled to the embassy. Started up the most favored nation status. Chinese firms don't have to be audited to be in U.S. index funds, New York Stock Exchange, et cetera. No one knows any of this stuff, by the way. And that's coming out finally. Thrift savings plan. We were investing our retirement funds in Chinese weapon systems aimed at us. Trump ended that with a stroke of a pen about a month ago. No headlines on it. Big move. Next comes the audit piece. If he gets rid of that, that'll be great for U.S. business. So that's all the economy wrapped up in a big package. And I think President Trump's been doing the best he can, given that China sent us the virus.
We'll have to see how everything pans out here in November, Congressman. Great to see you.
Thank you both. Thank you.
All right. Well, as the world waits for a coronavirus vaccine to become available, Vice Presidential hopeful Kamala Harris says she won't be taking the vaccine, at least under this presidency. That's next. Stay with us.